Mindfulness helps you go home to the present, and every time you go there and recognize a condition of happiness that you have, happiness comes. I do some compassionate mindfulness every day. It's like a Buddhist thing. I tell myself that I'm doing a good job, that kind of thing. It makes me feel better. When it comes to how neuroscience could help the wider public, the worst thing is when we make advances in, say, mindfulness, and then decide that everybody can potentially think their way to curing themselves or develop their own psycho-neuro-immune mechanisms for boosting cancer defenses. Mindfulness is so powerful that the fact that it comes out of Buddhism is irrelevant. Mindfulness is often spoken of as the heart of Buddhist meditation. It's not about Buddhism, but about paying attention. That's what all meditation is, no matter what tradition or particular technique is used. We can have skills training in mindfulness so that we are using our attention to perceive something in the present moment. This perception is not so latent by fears or projections into the future, or old habits, and then I can actually stir loving kindness or compassion in skills training too, which can be sort of provocative, I found. The older you get, the more mindfulness becomes about trying to remember why you came upstairs. Mindfulness helps us freeze the frame so that we can become aware of our sensations and experiences as they are, without the distorting coloration of socially conditioned responses or habitual reactions. When you look at the sun during your walking meditation, the mindfulness of the body helps you to see that the sun is in you. Without the sun there is no life at all, and suddenly you get in touch with the sun in a different way. Mindfulness is natural when you do not need to think about minor daily problems like making a living. For me, I love food. It's my greatest pleasure and also the thing that could ruin you as well. It's one of those things where, if you're not thoughtful about it, it could be unhealthy. But if there's a mindfulness about it, it actually is a wonderful tool of emotional expression. Most disciplines invite us to more mindfulness, and more contentment, not by consuming more externally, but by harvesting more from within, and by sharing more without. Neurosciences and behavioral sciences increasingly corroborate this ancient wisdom. Joy can come from giving, and unlimited happiness from bonhomie. Mindfulness practices enhance the connection between our body, our mind, and everything else that is around us. Mindful living is the key to understanding our struggles with weight and to empowering us to control our weight. If every day you practice walking and sitting meditation and generate the energy of mindfulness and concentration and peace, you are a cell in the body of the new Buddha. This is not a dream but is possible today and tomorrow. I try to practice mindfulness at all times, including the times where I'm nervous and I'm stressed. In Asian languages, the word for mind and the word for heart are same. So if you're not hearing mindfulness in some deep way as heartfulness, you're not really understanding it. Compassion and kindness towards oneself are intrinsically woven into it. You could think of mindfulness as wise and affectionate attention. Meditation isn't snake oil. For some people, meditation might be the most efficient way to reduce stress and cultivate mindfulness. But it isn't a panacea. If you don't meditate, there's no need to stress out about it. Mindfulness helps you to be where you are when you're there. When I'm interacting with constituents who are suffering, that matters. You practice mindfulness, on the one hand, to be calm and peaceful. On the other hand, as you practice mindfulness and live a life of peace, you inspire hope for a future of peace. Mindfulness is a quality that's always there. It's an illusion that there's a meditation and post-meditation period, which I always find amusing, because you're either mindful or you're not. I met Dina Kaplan at one of her many meditation and yoga classes in New York. I immediately fell in love with her teaching methods and approach to mindfulness. Writing can be an incredible mindfulness practice. Mindfulness can help people of any age. That's because we become what we think. In Britain, we ought to be in a position where doctors and therapists are able to prescribe mindfulness, acupuncture, osteopathy de rigueur. And it not only be available in certain fantastic surgeries in London and Brighton. Mindfulness has helped me succeed in almost every dimension of my life. By stopping regularly to look inward and become aware of my mental state, I stay connected to the source of my actions and thoughts and can guide them with considerably more intention. I admire the fact that the central core of Buddhist teaching involves mindfulness and loving kindness and compassion. As a Catholic, I find mindfulness helps me participate in my religion more wholeheartedly. If you are praying the rosary, participating in the rituals at Mass, or listening to the priest preach, you will actually be paying attention. Whatever your religion is, it can enhance the experience of participating in that religion. I have really focused on mindfulness. That helps me make better choices both physically, psychologically, and emotionally. When I do martial arts, I feel like it's inward-facing. Like, I'm improving myself, I'm getting healthier. It's almost like mindfulness for something. Buddhist mindfulness is about the present, but I also think it's about being real. Being awake to everything. Feeling like nothing can hurt you if you can look it straight on. With mindfulness, you can establish yourself in the present in order to touch the wonders of life that are available in that moment. It takes a little bit of mindfulness and a little bit of attention to others to be a good listener, which helps cultivate emotional nurturing and engagement. I really love yoga. I love the mindfulness of it, where not only are you exercising your body, but you're also building that mind-slash-body connection as far as being aware of every movement, what your body's doing, how your body's feeling. Science and mindfulness complement each other in helping people to eat well and maintain their health and well-being. When you have children, you realize how easy it is to not see them fully, and perhaps miss all those early years. If you are not careful, you can be too absorbed in work, and they will be only too happy to tell you about it later. Being a parent is one of the greatest mindfulness practices of all. The key to creating the mental space before responding is mindfulness. Mindfulness is a way of being present, paying attention to and accepting what is happening in our lives. It helps us to be aware of and step away from our automatic and habitual reactions to our everyday experiences. If you are doing mindfulness meditation, you are doing it with your ability to attend to the moment. I think I approach pressure by having discipline and learning to be calm in everyday life. I do this with a daily mindfulness practice and commitment. The mindfulness revolution is not quite as dramatic as the moon shot or the civil rights movement, but I believe, in the long run, it can have just as great an impact. Central to our work and our goal of finding solutions to global problems is the concept of mindfulness, a technique for focusing attention objectively on the here and now. Every morning, I do 10 minutes of mindfulness, where I do meditation, and I use that in competition and everyday life. What I'm trying to do is maintain some mindfulness about being popular. I wasn't so great at that last time around. I'm a praying atheist. When I hear an ambulance siren, I ask for a blessing for those people in trouble, knowing that no one's listening. I think it's just a habit of mindfulness. Mindfulness is about love and loving life. When you cultivate this love, it gives you clarity and compassion for life, and your actions happen in accordance with that. Breathe in deeply to bring your mind home to your body. Then look at, or think of, the person triggering this emotion. With mindfulness, you can see that she is unhappy, that she is suffering. You can see her wrong perceptions. You can see that she is not beautiful when she says things that are unkind. We need enlightenment, not just individually but collectively, to save the planet. We need to awaken ourselves. We need to practice mindfulness if we want to have a future, if we want to save ourselves and the planet. I'm a fan of mindfulness, and if coloring in is a way of reaching mindfulness, then I think it's great. But I'm amazed that anyone has the time to do that. I certainly don't. I've always been interested in mindfulness and alternative ways of seeing the world. Self-compassion encourages mindfulness, or noticing your feelings without judgment, self-kindness, or talking to yourself in a soothing way, and common humanity, or thinking about how others might be suffering similarly. Mindfulness means being aware of how you're deploying your attention and making decisions about it, and not letting the tweet or the buzzing of your BlackBerry call your attention. Visit our website for more quotes, quoting.com.